Took it to space and called it a day.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, he took it to space.
What was that at the end of the episode after credits?
That was during the episode. He took it to space.
He took the broccoli to space?
Yeah.
What? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Irbal Sinergy, the shop. I'm your host, Sinji. With me, my co-host, as always, Bay.
What up?
Hi, everybody.
No, not today.
No?
Nah, not today.
Oh, okay. What's up, Irby?
Keep them up on their toes. Nah, I mean, you know, life living me.
Yeah. And that's how we gonna
Shit.
keep it. Nah, we gonna have you living life.
Nah, I never know what that was.
Damn.
Yeah, I didn't ask for this existence.
But this existence came your way.
It did, so I guess I gotta make the most of it.
Yeah, you do.
Because I wasn't born a superhero.
No, you weren't. But you gonna be one.
Psych.
Oh, my bad.
I'm a villain, baby.
I'm a hustler, baby.
Yeah, so anyhow, let's get it crack-a-lackins.
With a flavor?
Yeah.
Flavor Flav?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Beach Boy Riverside.
Me too.
Yeah. My man, well, sub story when she created all those eyeballs floating around and he was like, oh, it's the this technique, which we'll talk about later, and he just ended up destroying them all. I'm like, dang. He just squeezed the air and killed them all. I was like, oh, well then.
Yeah, they some savages, bro.
They are.
If you got peach eyes, you're a savage.
Yeah.
Is that the moment?
Yeah, that was the moment.
Mine's just one is he stabbed his own foot to force Meki to use her cannon.
That was crazy too.
I was like, bruh, he just stabbed his own foot.
Yeah, but that wasn't. I felt like that wasn't like a sheer like moment of power per se, or anything. But
Nah, it was just savage. The look in his face and how confident he was that he had nothing to worry about that beam, which I already knew because nothing happened to Sally.
she wasn't hit with the beam though. It was just she was just outside the radius.
Nah, that thing got like everything around her.
Are you talking about when the seal guy used it on her during the fight?
When when Set used it.
Yeah. I think that might have came after he got hit with the beam. I can't remember.
Nah, cause like it happened and then she was like, "Don't you want to go over there?" And he's like, "Nah, what drives me is killing ogres, not saving humans."
Yeah.
Plus, I think his main reason for not wanting to go there is he didn't want to see Sally.
That was probably the reason.
Yeah, but we were pretty close in flavors there.
Yeah, I figured I showed some love because just cause I can.
It was a dope episode. You know, it was a dope episode.
Well, it was alright.
It was dope.
Yeah, it was okay.
But yeah. What would you like to talk about, my good sir?
Whatever you want to talk about first. We can do the Peach Boy recap since that was both flavors.
Unanimously.
Yes.
I saw that scene with the tree and Makoto on Instagram before. I didn't know it was from Peach Boy Riverside, but I've seen that scene before.
Do you not read the captions and or comments at the bottom to say what show it is?
When I do, I screenshot it and then I save it for later, but then I never actually go back. So I have like a shit ton of captions from Instagram of like animes to watch.
Probably should start watching them. That's what I do.
I have started watching them.
Oh, that's just because you needed a new episode for the season. That's all. Watch
Mm,
them at your own free leisure time when you're unencumbered by having to remember specific details.
nah, too much God of War right now.
This was before God of War came out.
Too much of other things.
Yeah, War of God.
I,
Like
I
other
was watching
things like what?
I was watching the saga of Tanya the Evil. I actually finished the first season.
Were you though? Or
Yeah.
was it watching you?
No, I was watching it.
Interesting. Very interesting. But anyhow, start the recap, sir.
Okay, start off this episode with Meki sitting next to a tree, waiting for her to get her power back, and then Makoto shows up, and she's like, "Oh, my partner left me here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm so bored." And then Makoto just cuts the tree in half, like funny. I was looking for entertainment too, but then here's where you saw his Goku-ish tendency right here. I will call it. This man said, "You're not gonna really be fun in that form. How long does it take for you to get to full strength?" She was like, 5 minutes. All right, let's just talk until then. It's like, oh, my man said he wants all the smoke.
Yeah. I was like, dang.
And then we go back to Sally versus Set, and like Sally stops Set's punch with one hand, and Meki, we go back to Meki and Makoto talking, and like Meki says the reason she hates humans is, and then she goes, "Look at that castle. You have to cut down a forest for the land. You have to take rocks and shit to build everything. Blah blah blah." A long-winded way of saying humans destroyed homes to accomplish making that castle, and they constantly need things that other creatures don't to survive. It's like, well, when you put it like that, I can justify your disliking of humans, but killing them, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
She's a little wild.
Makoto is like, we're a little similar in that regard, because I exist to kill ogres. But
Yeah.
then she started in the middle of her talking. She started regaining her adult form, and she immediately turned around and like ripped her eye out, but her eye was still there, and then like all these other little eyes came out, which will later on be referred to as her Zindo Dao. Zindao?
Yeah.
Yes. And then Makoto gets his peach eyes. I'm like, oh shit, my man's a villain too. And he recognizes the technique right away. He's like, oh, that must be your Zendai. Zendao, or Zindao, whatever, however you pronounce it.
Mm.
And he literally explains it's a technique executed by refining one's internal alchemy to merge one's ki with the natural world. So I guess she's basically just using nature's energy to bring out her ki.
Yeah, she's using sage mode.
But Meki, then Meki points out the humans thing, and Makoto's just like, what drives me is killing ogres. I'll check on after I'm done with you. And she's like, it's a good thing I sent for reinforcements. And my man with the villainous face was like, you think you're gonna last long enough for reinforcements to show up? And she's like, I have all these eyes. I can dodge you as long as I want. And then he just races upon us. This is where your flavor comes into play, and just destroys them all with like direct ki. And then like he shocks her, and he's like, use the cannon. And she's like, she's hesitant in doing it, and then he's like, I won't dodge. So he stabs, and this is where my flavor comes in. He stabs himself in the foot, and it's like, I won't dodge. He used the cannon. So she uses it, and nothing happens. Set uses his cannon on Sally, and nothing happens. And they both. Set dies. Set ends up dying. Sally gives him a diagonal slash across the chest, and he falls. And then she collapses. Um, Meki, Makoto cuts her horn off and like cuts out her eye, so now she's no longer an ogre, but she's also not human. Well, she is an ogre, but she won't be wanted by ogres because she's weak and she's not human, so she won't be wanted by humans. And he thought it was a fate crueler than death, but the dog at the end called him out, was like, "Oh, I think you just saw yourself in her."
Yeah. So I just want to reflect on a little something before. Yeah, I think, well, during the talk, they're talking about like the absurdities of like monsters and people killing each other and monsters killing humans. And essentially, he was also like, oh, you kind of just want revenge. It has nothing to do with humans. And he's like, even if I did stop you or whatever, you still would want to get revenge or something along those lines. But I did want to mention too that, oh boy, he didn't stab her before, and I was like, when she was a little kid for him. So I was like, why is he stabbing her now? Putting out the mystery. I was like, that's terrible. But
Yeah,
then
yeah. I
you
mean,
you that was my initial thought when he did it. Then he's like, oh, I cut the horn off, and then this. I was like, oh, so that's why he did it. Which he probably could have did that while she was full human form too. So, but
probably.
I think part of the reason why I did it too was like she was out of energy, so she would have passed out from being attacked anyway, so that she could have lived on as half human and half ogre, and no one would know. Whereas if she's like full whatever when they found her, and she wasn't like kind of sleep, then she would have been in trouble. So, but yeah, continue.
Yeah. So Meki is laid out across the ground. Makoto leaves because he doesn't want to see Sally.
Halle
Sally finally
Berry.
wakes up and Frost's watching over her. Hawthorne walks in and Hawthorne calls. Sally's trying to figure out what happened, and they're like, Hawthorne's like, well, I guess you defeated the ogre. She's like, me? Well, Sally was the only, Frost was the only witness, and all she keeps saying is, Sally invincible, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And then Sally got was curious of what happened to Frog, and Frog literally said, Frog slept, Frog woke, Frog ate carrots, Frog all better. It's
Yeah.
like, okay,
She's simple.
okay. Um, so Hawthorne leads them both to the cell. They found Meki, and according to the farmers, that they know that Meki's the one who destroyed the wall and like began the attack on the village. So Hawthorne asked, I'm gonna start calling him Halty or Hawk
Or just Hall.
or Hall.
Yeah. A
He
thorny boy.
he asked them to watch over her and gauge the situation because he doesn't want to just kill her without like hearing her side of things. I guess speaking from recent experience with Sally and Fraw.
Hmm.
And as
Hmm.
soon as he leaves, Fraw turns around and is like, she's been faking.
Yeah, like I was like, stare, stare, stare. She said, oh, she's awake. She's faking. I was like, leave it to her.
Yeah, they have their little banter back and forth. Meki is clearly still holding on to her ogre tendencies, but she is powerless now, and they break her out. And Hawthorne, being the poor good guy that he is, cuts them off and gets kicked in the face by Fraw. And then,
Yeah, I did also think it was cool how they started to love Frau now. It was like, oh, they shook her hands, like, oh, her fur is so soft.
it's
It's
so
like,
soft.
yeah. It's like, oh, you only love me when I can do something for you because I saved y'all from getting killed.
Damn right.
Mm, mm.
Now, Hawthorne was about to get on his horse to chase him, and he was sending for reinforcements, but a big blast came and wiped the whole village away.
Yeah, I was like, dang, just wiped out. That was almost my other one. Just the sheer power.
Just killed everyone.
Yeah.
Guess there's
Mm-mm-mm.
no one else important in that village.
Sure not. Wiped out the whole kingdom in the blink of an eye.
In the
That's
blink of an
very,
eye.
yeah, that's very Sinjinist right there. Mm-mm-mm.
Nah, bro, I could have got some food from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, where are we going to next, little mob?
Yeah, let's hit a little mob up.
Little
Mob
Shigeu?
cycling. Shigeo Kageyama. Mob Psycho 100, Season 3, Episode 6. Let's see here. Yeah. Divine Tree 3, Dimple is. So it starts off with a little flashback of the shirt. Um, Dimple thinks it's atrocious, and a boy Mob ends up releasing a whole bunch of energy. And we found out the reason for this is Mob says that the energy's holding him back from talking to Dimple because that's what Dimple's focusing on, like his energy and whatnot. And I was like, oh, that's nice of Mob to totally be defenseless with someone that wants to beat you up.
Nah, he knew. He confirmed he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, he didn't really want to do that to Shigeo. But so eventually they get to talking and uh he was he was like, was it something I said as to Mob, why he was like quiet and what made him release all of his energy? And Mob's like, I trust you, Dimple. And I'm like, huh? What? So um
Is that the
so
same
then
Dimple I'm seeing?
yeah, it's the same one I see. And then so Dimple does like this finger dagger and Bob like just walks up to it and Dimple ends up like making his finger go around where Mob is so that it won't hit Mob. And I was like, this is your chance to kill him. Kill Mob. End the whole season. And I'm like, nah, they ain't gonna do that. Can't do that to the main character.
Nah, I can't.
Yeah, um so I have a little note here, hindsight's always 2020. And I say this because Dimple just wanted Mob to hear him out and talk to him as like a friend and like a confidant. And Mob kind of didn't listen to him because he was getting like a big head, kind of ish, but wasn't too big for Mob. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Because if he would just talk to him, like none of this may not have happened this way or happened at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just wanted Dimple wanted to talk to him like an honest and open communication. And he just wanted Mob to be part of his dream. And then Mob's like, well, tell me about your dream now. I'm like, oh, now he's armchair therapist. So, but I'm like, yeah, Mob's being a good friend. And then, to talk about his ambition as a friend. And Dimple gives up being a god, essentially. And so Mob faints and Dimple ends up carrying him out. I was like, oh, look at him. And I
But
did like,
then,
yeah, I did like how they have like sentimental moment. And Mob's like, oh, how long you saying this for him? He's like, oh, like a week. And Mom's like, well, come back when your power runs out from
it's
Hope.
like, I don't like the form.
Yeah, I was like, it's like leaving Mob being straightforward. So that was also a little moment I liked there. And then so the new Saga Helmet guy, I guess the tree took form of Dimple, what Dimple wanted to do, and they started to fighting. And he's like, I want Mobs as sustenance. So they're in a fighting over Mob, and Mob's like knocked out, tired. He's like, I can't move. And then so it's a nice looking fight. Dimple using all sorts of god beams and this and the other and la di da.
Yeah, Dimple had the edge over power, but the tree had unlimited energy.
Yeah. Unlimited energy. Call it the spirit bomb. Lend me your energy.
Which, in theory, if if everyone actually listened to Shigeu and they all went home, I feel like the tree's energy should have went down severely.
Well,
But
it
the end of the episode kind of leads me to believe that Dimple dead.
maybe, but I was going to say like the energy itself, it siphons off the energy from plants and surrounding areas as well. So
Mm-hmm.
even if the people did leave, like it's killing off life around it, and just the roots stretch further and further each day. So essentially, it would just grow long enough and far enough to constantly have a source of power.
Damn.
But so anyhow, um, Dimple comes back, and it this is where it kind of was weird because it looked like Dimple was dancing between like all sorts of different phases, and like he was like, "Oh, Mob's so weak right now, my brainwashing could work." And my first inclination was like, "Oh, he's gonna make Mob do what he wants him to do." But turns out he just wanted Mob to get up on out the paint.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, "Did Dimple already defeat the people?" Because I was like, I didn't see them." And then they start fighting.
Then you saw the massive one behind him. He was basically making Mom see Dimple in his original form.
Yeah.
He created the illusion that like everything was okay.
That's what I was thinking. Oh, yeah, my man's finna self-sacrifice. Because I early on I had a feeling he's gonna self-sacrifice for some reason, but I was like, why would he kill himself? All he had to do is just destroy the thing. Um, in the previous episodes, I was like, huh. I was like, there's
Yeah.
something bugging me. And then so he's like, yeah, these are my first and last orders, Shigeo. And as soon as he said that, I was like, yep, he's finna die. I run out of energy, one of the two.
He said the words.
First and last orders. I was like, ugh. And he's like, yeah, go on and walk home, even though you feel tired. I was like, oh man. So, and then he also gave him props for having so much power. He's like, oh, if I had this much power, it would have went to my head a long time ago. And then so,
Yeah, it
he
did.
uses, yeah, Dimple uses his last remaining power to wipe everyone's memories and also remove the floating broccoli, the broccoli, and took it to space and called it a day.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, he took it to space.
What was that at the end of the episode after credits?
That was during the episode. He took it to space.
He took the broccoli to space?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dog, he took the broccoli to space.
I might have to watch the rest of the episode. I don't think I finished.
Yeah, you didn't see when Mob started crying?
I saw where Mob started crying.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was before then.
I didn't see anything like that.
Damn. But yeah, he took it to space and that was it.
Holy shit, man, just blew my mind.
Yeah, that's why he killed himself. He took it to space because I in space there's nothing for like nutrients to suck up and there's no people in space. So they just had to go.
Yeah, yeah. Makes sense to
Yeah.
me.
So yeah, love the episode. Sad for Dimple. And Shigeo was like, thank you, Mom, for being yeah, thank you, Dimple, for being a friend. And this, that, and the other. And he
Thank
started
you for
crying.
being a friend.
And I was all sad. I was like, damn, my boy.
All right, shall we bang out Jujutsu and Children real quick?
Yeah, you go ahead and talk about that Chojin.
I can talk about Children. So Children was Ellie and Tokyo managed to fucking piss off the smoke guy. And then they gave off a little knowledge about his power. Because he swooped in and like took Ellie with him. After they pissed him off, he started mumbling. He went crazy, and then he went rage. And apparently, with Ellie's smoke power, because I'm assuming she's able to do this as well, it can reach temperatures up to 3,000 degrees Celsius, but Smoke Guy can handle 200 and 250 degrees. Keep it down there while he's cool headed. But he wasn't cool headed, so he was burning himself in the process of taking Ellie away. And Tokyo was running. He ran out of his beastification, but he kept running and he kept questioning himself with like questions that like led to like shades of regret. Like it seemed like he regretted not doing more, not doing this, not doing that, not doing that. But he was
Yeah,
like,
his feeling of uselessness.
yeah. But eventually he like shook it off and was like, I can't worry about that now. I gotta go. Gotta go. And he ran and he ran and he ran and he did beastification on his legs and jumped. And then beastification again and he sprouted wings.
Yeah, that was when I was like, finally, get my boy some wings. Get
It's
that man a
about
Red Bull.
damn time.
Yeah, got his Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do also think was another funny moment was when Smoke Chojin was using the heat screwdriver, and Ellie was like, "That just looks like my poop de loop."
Yeah.
I was like, "Look at you, that's hilarious." But yeah, I call that man a flying casket or a flying kiln because he was just burning up everything.
Damn.
But yeah, good episode. Not episode. Read. I'm glad he finally got his wings because I was like, man, what kind of bird don't have wings?
He had small ones.
When?
It seemed like they were small on his shoulders.
Man, that was just his clavicle.
I don't know what that is.
It's like it's like a bone that sticks out.
Alrighty,
Yeah.
well, how about you take the charge on Jujutsu?
Yeah. So Jujutsu Kaisen, episode 223. So Bloodman, Suwu, and Geto, they start fighting.
He said Suwu.
Yeah. And basically he's fighting just to ascertain his plan for Yuji. And so he's like, oh, Yuji's just like a vessel in his role, and he's like a fire signal to the start. And I'm like, oh, to start something. And he's like, as long as they are alive, the chain of curses will continue, will never end, never end. And it's like it's the eye of the storm, the new age. And then he's like, oh, so Yuji, he's like, no, you, Noritoshi Kamo.
Damn.
I was like, oh, dang, I definitely thought he was talking about Sukuna and Yuji. But no, I was wrong.
Yep, wrong.
So then he says, you're the root of all unhappiness. I was like, man, that's terrible. And I do like this quote right here. Even dust can pile up into a mountain. I was like, ooh. Because essentially he was using low-level weak spirits that wasn't strong by themselves, but like he was feeding
pumping
them
them up,
power.
yeah.
Yeah, he's feeding them power, and they end up getting stronger. And I was like, that is a good quote. I'm about to mention that one. So
Even dust can pile together to form a mountain.
yeah, and then so it turns out Geto is his father. And so I'm like, ooh, okay, a little family lineage there.
I mean, they
Yeah,
almost have matching horizontal lines on their faces.
yeah, almost. But yeah, so but yeah, it was good. I enjoyed the read.
My man's gonna die next chapter.
I think he is gonna die.
Yeah.
Or old girl might jump in and save him because she's like, you're going to die if you do this, and he's like, well, just go ahead and do this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
So
But on to what seems like the finale. Not the season finale. It just plain old seems like the finale of Takt op.Destiny.
it does.
Episode 12. Takt. Hope. So they're fighting Orpheus, and Orpheus set off little mines that like exploded, but like exploded with her nearby too. So I was like, oh, she doesn't care. She's in a radius. She's either like not affected or she can heal. And sure enough, she has rapid regeneration. So you know that like chipping away at her won't work because she's just gonna heal.
Mm-hmm.
So my man Takt, he decides to come with a distraction, kicks fucking Orpheus in the face, and like that surprised her. But like what was confusing to me was Heaven and Hell haven't spent a lot of time with Takt, but they said Orpheus said you've always been like that, Takt. I was like, what? What? You just asked a question, it rose a question in my head, and I don't think I'm gonna get the answer to this.
Yeah.
But Takt opened up was distraction enough. Destiny came in and full blast, full blasted Orpheus into like, all right, now Orpheus needs some time to regenerate. So Destiny said, "Go handle Sagan. I'll take care of this." Boom, we do that. Before I move on,
Hit him with a cell.
I had a theory, and it's just a theory, but in regards to the Symphonica, if they can analyze and sync music cards with maestros, right?
Maestros. Yeah.
Yeah. Shouldn't it stand within reason that they can also create weapons to handle D2s? If they understand music cards enough to um, stabilize them and synchronize them with maestros,
Well,
logically speaking.
it depends because they might be out of this worldly matter, and only certain people are able to synchronize with musical arts, and like the material maybe needed to create certain musical arts isn't of this world. So I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, they could, in theory, essentially make their own or make a synthetic version, but I would like to hazard a guess to say that those wouldn't be as strong, nor would they probably last as long either. So,
Fair enough. I just thought for a second like maybe they could all this time, but
well,
Sagan
you
was
thought
like,
wrong.
yeah,
No, I'm
Sagan was
kidding.
like, nah, we can't do it. We need music cards just so he can control the outcome.
It could be. I don't know. We'll probably never get the answers.
But Tak gets to Sagan, and the Sagan starts rambling about shit that it just makes him sound completely crazy. Destiny and Orpheus continue their fight, and shockingly enough, with the power of music and love, Destiny overcomes Orpheus with pure hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know. I feel like this episode was kind of rushed.
Yeah.
Like they probably should have made one more, but it's alright. So we get over to Takt, who at this point his hair turned partly white, and he's damn near half 50% corrupted. I would venture to guess. And Destiny shows up, and I was wondering if Takt was gonna have the goals to actually stab this man or kill him, whatever he was gonna do to end him. And he did. He actually used Destiny's sword to stab him.
No hesitation.
No, yeah, he didn't even think about it. And then you zoom into them laying on the beach, and it sounds like Tad said he's gonna rest, but I think my man died. No, he's not
Yeah.
dying. He didn't die. He's in treatment. I thought he died though. I did think he died because Destiny started crying and she kissed him and said she loved him. I was like, bro, what? Didn't you just see your big sister kiss him too? Like, what are we doing here? And then left the
Mm.
charm in his hand and she disappeared. So I think she died. I'm like, wait, she's dead and he's alive? So fast forward to however far in the future we are. Not too far because it's still disastrous out there. And Anna became a maestro and joined the Symphonica. And Tax in treatment. and Anna has the charm, but like at the very end, Anna looked like she turned into Destiny. So I was just like, wait, does the charm turn her into what? I don't. This left me with more questions than answers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, but yeah, I I do also think worth noting a little bit is how uh they had like the flashback when Heaven Hell was fighting some D2s with that one maestro. And I also had the thought of how Homie should have bled out already. Like, how are you still alive? And they get into talking about how he's going to sacrifice this continent for the rest of the world. And it's like, man, you just being selfish and this, that, and the other.
I don't
It's
even
like
think
we
he
could,
was bleeding, dog.
yeah. I mean, he had blood coming out of his like mouth, but you know, I'm like, he should have bled out. Uh, but yeah, so to say people, he's like a life for the world. He's like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, man, stop. But also, did you notice how Takt's hair was the inverse of Heaven and Hell's Orpheus form?
I didn't.
Yeah, like his hair went white on the right side, and their hair was white on the left side. So I was like, oh, that's interesting.
But it also didn't take complete form. I thought he was just, for some reason, I thought he was fusing with Destiny.
Yeah, and they would become one too. I could see that
That's what I
because
thought
like,
was
huh.
happening.
Yeah, but yeah,
But
that's pretty much I thought about. And Tot is in like a cryogenesis and Destiny reappeared. I think Destiny might just be part of that little uh, ornament she gave him. That just might be like her summoning device because she's a different kind of music art. Maybe one that's too like advanced that they haven't figured out how to stabilize the technology. So she just comes through and helps the wielder destroy everything and save people, and then vanishes until she gets a new wielder.
yeah, maybe she did that because she knew the Takt had to go in treatment.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
she
I don't
became
know.
that. Okay, maybe, yeah. Because you do see her at the end, but like, you see her where Anna was. I'm like, I couldn't tell what was going on.
Yeah, like they're walking in each other's shadow. So who knows? I was like, dang. But yeah, good episode. I feel like there may not be a whole nother season the way they walked off in the sunset. Yeah, it's kind of like what other show we watched that did that?
I don't
What's the
remember,
name?
but now I just realized I need another show.
You'll figure
Fuck.
it out. You figured it out.
Yeah, I got a few.
I got a few too.
All right, Spy X Family.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring this thing on down. So, Spy Family, Uncle the Private Tutor, and Daybreak, episode 18. So, we discovered that Anya has a lunar cycle uh, where where like she'll lose the ability to read minds. And the school
Bruh,
tests, yeah,
Inu Anya over here.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, just like Inuyasha, she becomes completely human during the new moon.
Well, she's always been human.
Nah, nah, nah. She is what the X Men would refer to as a mutant.
I would call her a human.
But like she has powers and they go
She
away
does.
when when the new moon is upon us.
Yeah,
But carry on, my wayward son.
yeah. So then we also find out, yeah, the new moon shows up, and we also find out that Yuri wanted to be Anya's tutor so he can get close to the family. Um, and another funny part I had too was when he showed up to the family, to the house, and Lloyd's there. He's like, you should go to work on your day off. I was
Yeah,
like, what? Yeah, I was like, man, my guy is really simping for his sister.
he is. He is.
Yeah, so. So Anya gets this notion in the head that it's spy versus police, and it's supposed to be a showdown. And Anya is winning over Unky, she calls him. And this was the funniest part right here was he's like, yeah, knowledge is power. And then she equates it to no leash is power, which comes up later, the funny part. And he gets a spiel about unleashing power, and Anya says, can I make medicine? Rockets too? And can I conquer the world? He's like, huh? What? I guess you could.
Oh my
And then
god.
the other little funny part was like, have you mastered this grammar lesson? And Anya's like, what's grammar? My man just loses it.
So she's hopeless. I'm leaving.
He's like, I'm out. I'm gone. And so I also had a thought, like, what if Anya isn't like, she's not like daft or dumb or anything, but like, I feel like maybe she was like a year behind and undereducated previously. So,
Well,
so that maybe,
she is a year behind because she said she was older
yeah,
so that people would think she was smarter. So it's interesting that you said that because I just remembered that she mentions that in the first episode.
yeah, because
She might be in the wrong grade.
that's what I was like. Yeah, what if she's not supposed to be there, but she's supposed to be in a different one,
Mm-hmm.
or like she could have had a late birthday. Well, no, she'd have to have an earlier birthday to be in up a grade. But yeah, so I was like, huh, maybe she's smart, but like they're jumping. I guess that class is real advanced, whatever. But I was like, yeah, maybe. And then so your she made cookies and snacks after she was like, oh, he left, but I guess when he needs snacks and he hears that and he comes back in and he starts eating them and then leaves and starts barfing. It's like, oh, these are so good. Arr. And some of the cookies that fall on the floor and Bond eats them and my boy keels over. He's like, Arr.
I was like, bruh, come on, come on, come on. How long have you lived there already? You couldn't even see that coming.
I've been in like 2 weeks, I would say. No, it hasn't been 2 weeks. I would say a little bit. But anyhow, and then we get to the point where Anya's talking to Becky, and she's telling her, "It's like, oh, do you study for this? Are you worried?" And she's like, "Oh, no leash is power," which is funny because she couldn't. She I guess she couldn't equate knowledge and power. She was like, "Just no leash is power," which is hilarious.
Mm-mm.
And then we get into daybreak, and this is when Lloyd he's going to go change the answer sheets. And another spy, Daybreak, is also going to go change some answers. He's a spy from the East. And yeah, he wants to be the ride and start fighting against Twilight because, Twilight's dark and Daybreak is morning. So, Twilight of the West and Daybreak of the East. And
Yeah.
so, my man's being the most obvious spy running through. But it worked, though. So,
It kept working. Yes, I won't
it
deny that.
did. Yeah, my man, he fooled the guards by hanging on a flagpole, and then he just breaks into the door, and Lloyd's like, "Let me cover the track, put a soccer ball here," and then so he gets to the guard room where he needs a key pass, and Lloyd just has a fake one there. He's like, "Oh, this is you." He's like, "Oh no, that's not me." And Lloyd's like, and the guy's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "I don't know who you are, buddy, but thanks." And then my boy Lloyd got knocked out because the spy couldn't remember his the passcode, and my man wrote all the notes on his hand. I'm like, oh Lord, it's like you got to be one of the dumbest people ever.
Oh my god, man. He is.
Yeah, and we found out that he's there to change the answers on Damien's and his brother's tests, and then so they did it, and he ends up changing the answers. And Lloyd's like, this man's costing me double work because now I got to change the answers back. And then the guy changed Anya's. So, but he's like, you know what? She did just enough to pass.
He said, "Fuck yeah." He left it. He left it. I'm wondering how. I know he had a way, but like, I still couldn't figure out the logic of like how he figured out the original answers.
Uh, he said something about like erase marks. and
Yeah.
patterns. Yeah. And normally, like with kids like that, they don't put pen to paper unless they know the answer is like correct or they have like full confidence in their answer. So the ones that would have eraser marks would be the ones that he would just look at. So that's what I would say. And Anya is again 213th place, which she's like, which she knew she was going to get it because she read Papa's mind, which isn't bad for her. I do.
Yeah, she didn't fail.
She didn't, but she didn't get any nice uh what do you call it? Those things, Stellas.
Stellas?
Yeah,
I don't think we were going for the Stellas.
yeah.
I,
One of them
I think we gave up on the Stella. I think we were settling for not getting the.
expelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Daybreak fails his mission, and he gets fired. So that concludes that one.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good.
I enjoyed it. Nice, good episode.
It was a good episode. I agree.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you go. Starlight Anya.
Starlight Anya.
But yeah, I also do want to note that I started reading that Sasuke chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not read it, so I'll probably tell you anyway.
By all means.
They're pulling a Goku when he did the android fight. You know what I mean by that?
Like, when you think. Which android fight?
When he had the heart attack, the virus.
Oh, that's a we're calling Sasuke sick?
No, Naruto's sick
Oh,
because Goku's the
gotcha.
main character. I'm like, oh man, and Sasuke's out to find a cure for him.
Oh.
I'm like, oh man, because apparently the Sage Six Path had an ailment before,
Mm-hmm.
and it was documented, and Naruto now has that same ailment, so they're off to find a cure. Well, Sasuke is,
Hmm.
which might be why Sasuke is always leaving the village looking for stuff, information about the gates and whatnot.
Looking for a cure.
Yeah, so yeah, that was that one. I was like, man, this right here,
Is
killing me.
my swag.
Yeah, but it's interesting though. I do enjoy it. Right now, he's fighting some sort of velociraptor thing, and he's in prison. Yeah,
Gotcha. I might look
looking for
into it.
information.
It's
Yeah,
Sasuke, so it's not Boruto, you know what I mean?
exactly. That's why I was like, this can't be bad.
I mean, it could be, but like,
No, I was like, they ain't gonna
there's a
let
very
Sasuke
low
go down.
bar. It's a very easy. Yeah, man. I don't know.
It's Sasuke.
Boruto's just something else.
It's a way better read. And then the other two chapters of I think are it's supposed to be like Shikamaru's thing with like Kakashi
Mm-hmm.
and Mirai's in there, so you get a little bit of her adventures and hijinks. So
Gotcha.
she was good. Yeah, I think I finished only the one chapter. Still got to read the other one.
You read that other one.
I am. I plan on it. Plan on reading a whole lot of things.
A whole lot of things. A lot of
No,
things.
not too much though.
Damn.
Can't let Master know I can read.
You right.
Yeah.
Well, you got
But yeah.
anything else out, Herbie?
No, I got nothing else. That's just what was on my mind for these animes.
All right, ladies and gents. Hope you enjoyed this week's installment. Like, comment, subscribe, share us, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.